How do I use colors and styles in PlantUML? If you are curious about how to make your diagrams in PlantUML more visually appealing and easier to understand, you are in the right place. Let's break down how to use colors and styles effectively in your diagrams. First, let's talk about changing line styles and colors. When you draw arrows or lines between elements, you can specify the style and color inside square brackets. You have options like bold for thicker lines, plain for the default solid line, dotted for dashed dots, and dashed for dashed lines. You can choose colors by name, like red or green, or use hexadecimal RGB codes, such as FF0000 for red. For example, if you want a bold green arrow from point A to point B, you would write a bold #green B. You can also combine styles and colors. For instance, A#6666 FF-B creates a dashed arrow in a specific shade of blue. Next, let's look at coloring components and backgrounds. You can assign colors to diagram components like classes or actors by adding color specifications after their definition. For backgrounds, you can create gradients by specifying to colors separated by symbols like a vertical bar or a semicolon. For example, to create a class with a gradient background, you might write class example light blue #white. You can also specify colors for headers, lines, and text within components using a detailed syntax. This gives you fine control over the visual style of each element. Now, let's discuss skin parameters for consistent styling. PlantUML allows you to set global styles and colors for your entire diagram using skin param. For instance, if you want to change the background color of the whole diagram, you would write skin param background color #ebd. You can also set colors for specific parts like arrows and fonts to keep a consistent look throughout your diagrams. When it comes to styling arrows in sequence diagrams, you can modify the arrow type. A solid arrow is represented by, while a dotted arrow is shown as. Adding an O at either end changes the arrowhead style. You can also add colors using the same bracket notation. For example, Bob #red Alice. Hello creates a red arrow from Bob to Alice. Finally, here are some practical tips for studying. Use color coding to differentiate types of relationships or processes. This makes your diagrams easier to scan and remember. Apply bold or dashed lines to emphasize or de-emphasize connections. Consistent color schemes across diagrams help build familiarity and reduce cognitive load. Combining colors and styles can highlight key steps or important elements in your diagrams. Adjust background and text colors to improve readability, especially if you plan to print or present your diagrams. By mastering these color and style options in PlantUML, you can create diagrams that clearly convey information and support your learning process.